Hey, it's time for Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, your chief idiot today. Today we're going to be talking about streaming. Yeah, how about that? We're talking about streaming, talking about vMix, talking about something from the ancient past in streaming history called the Stream Genie. What is that? We'll be right back. You hit a button and you just never know what's going to happen next. All of a sudden, here I am. You know, life is like that. You turn around a corner and pooh, there's a surprise. You just never know. You got to be ready for it. Or you got to be ready for it. One of the two. Something like that. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair at Streaming Idiots. And, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm talking about streaming. Talking about live streaming. I'm talking about video podcasting. I'm talking about internet broadcasting. I'm talking about webcasting. What in the world are we going to call it? I don't know, but I'm doing it, and you can do it too. If you've got a passion about something and you want to bring your passion to the, I'd say the airwaves, but it's not air anymore. Well, I guess if it's Wi-Fi, it's air. But if you want to bring your passion to the world, let me put it that way, whether it's across the street or across the country or across the continent. If you want to bring your message out there, whatever it is, you can do it with what we're doing, live streaming. Yeah. It's not expensive. It's not hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And you can make it as cool looking as you want. And money has something to do with that. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different subjects, so it's going to be kind of a mixture of this and that. But let me start off by saying I did a show last week. It was sort of my rant on internet broadcasting, some of the deceitful practices that are going in the marketing of internet broadcasting devices and software and services. And so I would commend that to you. If you're watching me live, go back to our website, Eastern Shore Broadcasting, and go to the archive for last week. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can just pop back in YouTube to last week's broadcast, the one that says rant across the screen. I think it's important for people to have accurate, timely information so they can make good decisions. And if you are a vendor and you are putting out a partial truth or something that's just, that benefits you that's not totally true, let me put it that way, then you are doing a disservice to your clients. Be honest, guys. Tell them the truth. Now, somebody told me the other day, say, well, everything I said was true, but I didn't tell the whole story. Well, then that's speaking with the intent to deceive and using the truth to make it more believable. And that's not right. Not right. Now, I'm not going to do the whole rant again, but it's not right. If you're not telling the whole story, if you're not giving people the full picture, then you are either unintentionally or intentionally, which is worse, being deceitful. So go back and watch the rant. Leave me a YouTube note or shoot me an email note. And it's tom@streamingidiots.com. And I will be happy to reply to you in either form. It's important. It's important to have accurate information. Information you can trust from people you can trust. Yeah, that's the whole idea. That's what we're doing here at Streaming Idiots. We're hoping that you can trust us. Speaking of trust, I've got a guest coming up next week. I want to go ahead and announce him right now. His name is Paul Allen Clifford. He's from TrinityDigitalMedia.com, and you can go check him out. And Paul, Mr. Clifford, has done some amazing work with just putting out hundreds and hundreds of videos talking about how folks in a church environment specifically can use technology, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or streaming or whatever. He's got great resources out there, and he'll be on the show next week. That's next Wednesday, March 11th, about 3:45-ish on Streaming Idiots next Wednesday afternoon. We'll also have him on that VidBlaster Guy earlier at 3 o'clock. So tune in for both if you like, or you can catch them on YouTube. And please, by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube and don't get to watch us live, by all means, subscribe to us on YouTube, and that way you'll get a notice from YouTube whenever we post a new video. The Streaming Idiot shows are posted on Fridays and recorded on Wednesdays, so there's a couple of days lag in there. And go to our website, Eastern Shore Broadcast. Sorry for all this business stuff, but let's get it out of the way. We'll go to easternshorebroadcasting.com. There's a little email sign-up list, and if you want to be on our VIP list, we'll send you a notice of shows that we've recorded live but have posted to YouTube but haven't released yet. You get to see them first. So that can be kind of fun. Let's see, where do we start? Let's start with the oldest stuff first. Back in 1997, a company called Pinnacle Systems began to develop a portable streaming appliance, read that, PC, that streamed, and it was portable. They called it the Stream Genie. It really kind of hit the market well in the year 2000, 2001. It was about $30,000, and it was a lightweight option to TriCaster. It was mostly standard definition, and there are a ton of them still being used today, even though they're 15 years old. It was just a fancy PC. And, I had one. I had a picture of one here somewhere, but I've misplaced it. Anyway, the Stream Genie is something that you probably wouldn't want to use anymore, but the case that it comes in would be really valuable, I think. In fact, I thought it was valuable, so I bought one. I went out to eBay. Remember, $30,000. I didn't spend $30,000. I'm a cheapskate. I spent $100. Now, $100 is a lot for a case, but this case it's about the size of what we used to call a catalog case. So think about like 3 briefcases all glued together, and that would be the case. And on one side of the case is a panel that is the keyboard, and that detaches. It has a cord on it, and then right behind that is a monitor. 17-inch, 15-inch monitor, maybe something like that. And then inside it is room for an ATX motherboard. And that's what we're doing. We've stripped the guts out, and we've got all the components here, and we're going to build it back as a 2015 Streaming Genie. The problems are that everything doesn't quite fit. We've done some trial fitting, and we're running into some issues where we're going to have to use some physical violence. So I have I've never had a Dremel tool. And a Dremel tool is like a teeny little drill with a wheel on the end of it where you can cut things. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in it, enlarge some openings in this case so we can fit our new motherboard in. So this is a long way of saying I don't have an update on this project for you this week. I will next week. Hopefully the Dremel will be in by then, and we can get back on track building this portable streaming machine. They call them in the industry today, they still build them, and they build them for all sorts of applications, not necessarily streaming, but for portable PCs. And they put them in cases like you would see if you were running through the airport, and all these people have all these cases, and they've got wheels on them and handles on them, and they're dragging them behind them. Well, that's about the size of this. Anyway, it should be pretty cool, and it will be cheap. And of course, as you know, cheap is right up my alley. But it's sort of a prototype. If we can prove that you can fit all this stuff in there, then maybe we'll see about trying to find a regular case. The cases that we found so far, brand new, with monitors and keyboards, are like $2,500 just for the case. But they're built to rugged specifications, so that's probably the reason why. So that's the update on the Stream Genie. Also want to say, and welcome Jim to the show. Didn't see you slip in. Welcome Jim. Yes. Want to say that we are an authorized vMix reseller, authorized VidBlaster reseller, and that March 6th vMix has a new pricing structure, and so the price goes up. And currently vMix is offering, in fact, I think the price has already gone up, but you can get a 10% discount off the new price from vMix up until March 6th, which is 3 days from now. But for anybody that's watching this show, if you want to, how about the old price and the 10% discount? So for the next 3 days, March 3rd, March 4th, March 5th, and March 6th, 3 days. Count them, 3 days. For the next 4 days, I will give you a 10% discount off of the old price. So if you're interested and want to set it up, shoot me an email, tom@streamingidiots.com. We must consummate this deal by March 6th. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I've already done it for a couple of folks and be happy to do it for you. And we will update our website with the new prices. Don't buy it through our store. Go just shoot me an email, tom@streamingidiots.com. Our store is at easternshorebroadcasting.com, but we need to update that with the new pricing. And the last thing I wanted to chat with you about is, what would we call it? Partnering, coaching, maybe mentoring. If you are starting out or have already started in this wonderful, wild world of internet broadcasting, video streaming, podcasting, you heard the rant earlier, but feel a little lost and would like to have your Uncle Tom come along and help you. I would like to do that. For this spring, March, April, and May, 4 months, March, April, and May, I am going to be taking 2 folks under my wing to help them get going on their streaming, whether it's for pleasure or for hobby or for somebody else or for business purposes. I'm going to take 2 folks under my wing for those 3 months to help them get going. And that's going to include, anything, virtually anything. You need specifications on how to build a PC, on where to get the components, on, capture cards and cameras and mixers and mics and lights and green screens and all that stuff. And okay, now that I've got all that stuff, let's put it all together and make it work. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they said, Tom, when I get on there, you look so great. I mean, this is my green screen, folks. This is what I look, whoops, where is it? Right here. This is what I look like in real life. That's real life. But you can key it all out and end up with a really cool background like this that just makes it look so much cooler and more professional. And he had his backdrop and he had his green screen. But every time he wore blue jeans, it didn't work. It was all, his blue jeans were all shiny and shivery and pixelated and I asked one simple question. I said, how close are you physically to your green screen? And he said, about a foot. I said, well, try 4 feet and see how that does. And pow, he was ready to go again. 4 feet difference made all the difference. It gave the light. He wasn't getting the reflection off the green screen that was causing the problems on his blue jeans. And that's the kind of thing that mentoring can do. The kind of questions that you can go out and find the answer to yourself. You definitely can. I know, because the answers are out there, because I've found a bunch of them that way myself too. But you can also spend a week off and on trying to find the answer to a problem. And I'm thinking that I've figured out, I haven't figured out everything, I know that, but I figured out a bunch of stuff. And I'm willing to share that knowledge with 2, I can count that high, with 2 individuals during the next 3 months at no charge. Oh, did I mention that? Free? Gratis? Nada? No dinero necessary. Is my contribution. But it's also, I'm not totally altruistic. I'm testing the market. is this mentoring, coaching, partnership concept worthwhile to you and to me? Is it worthwhile to you enough that if I had asked for it, which I'm not at this point, but if I had asked you to make a financial contribution to this cause, would you have felt like it was valuable? And so if you join with me on this, I probably will want you to write a testimonial and say, Tom Sinclair was the best thing since sliced bread, other than the fact that he can't count. But I don't want you to feel obligated. So shoot me an email, tom@streamingidiots.com, and let's talk about it. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me your whole story. And I'll narrow the list down here in the next week or so to just 2 folks. And don't wait, because it probably will be, probably the 18th of March. I'll be announcing who the partners are, so that you can follow their activity too if they're doing anything that's out there in the general public. In fact, that might be fun to have them. In order to graduate from this program, they have to come on and help produce one of these shows or something like that. We'll come up with something really cool and fun. It'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure. The other point that I want to make in all this is, it doesn't have to be me, but it is a good idea to have a person or a couple of people that you can kind of lean on in this stuff. Folks that you know of that are a little bit further down the road than you are, that can help you, and that at some point you're going to be able to help too. I will tell you, I've talked to a number of folks over the years that have been doing this for a long time, and some of it they just have flat-out misconceptions on, and they're operating under one set of rules that just aren't the way things work. I can remember people that had major confusion over aspect ratio and video resolution, and could never figure out why they were having black bars and things like that, and things that I think are pretty basic, and that it only took me a couple of years to figure out. But those are things that at some point you get to give back and help your friend and say, hey, when you're streaming that football game and one of your cameras looks good and the other camera everybody looks all mushed up, if you'll just press this button on that camera and change the aspect ratio, it'll clear that up. And they'll once they really try it and believe that you might know something, they'll appreciate that kind of thing. And that's been the one thing that I think is kind of, at least from my perspective, since 2008 when I first started doing this, is that folks were willing to share information and were willing to go out and try things and then report back on them. And that makes this kind of industry a lot of fun, to work with. That's the way it's been. So that's the mentoring program. Shoot me an email, Tom at streamingidiots.com if you're interested, and I would be happy to take a look at what you have to say, and I'll get back to you certainly one way or the other. We're going to wrap up the show here, but I will say the vMix deal is good to March 6th. If you're interested in upgrading vMix or buying vMix, we will sell it to you for the old price minus 10%. I know the deal right now is from vMix is the new price, which is higher, of course, minus 10%, but we'll go even better than that to try to help you get going. And then coming up next week, we'll have Paul Allen Clifford with us. And then coming up next week, hopefully, and in the future as well, we will have more information on our Stream Genie project. So that's it, folks. I'm Tom Sinclair, the Streaming Idiot. Delighted to have you with us on the program today, and I hope you'll join us again next time. And who knows what's going to happen then.